What's good, y'all? Master Yoshi here. Welcome to episode 2 of my first track day. Today we doing the breakdown. Roll the intro. Alright, y'all, so what I want to do today is I want to break down the film that I showed y'all in episode 1. And if you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and pause this, go check that out, and come back to me, because I think episode 1 was the dopest video I've ever dropped. But anyways, I want to break down that film. But first, I want to tell y'all how that track day was structured. So first of all, Sportsback Track Time was the hosting organization, and they break up the track day into 3 different skill groups: intermediate, advanced, and novice. And we actually hit the track in that order as well. For simplicity's sake, the main differentiating factor between these groups, besides the skill, is the passing rules. Intermediate has more lax passing rules than novice, so advanced of course has the least restrictive passing rules. The track day was set up so that every group would have a 20-minute session every hour, starting at 9 o'clock. Then we took a break at noon for lunch, and then we came back at 1 o'clock and hit another 4 sessions. So there were 3 sessions in the morning, 4 sessions in the afternoon. The highlights that you all saw, they were all from one session. They were all from session 4. Why didn't you record the first few sessions, Master Yoshi? We wanted to see your first time out. Yeah. Well, first off, they didn't even allow the novice group to bring any cameras out in the morning. So within the novice group, they actually broke us up into other groups and assigned us all to an instructor. For the first 2 sessions, we were not allowed to pass anybody within our group. The only people we could pass was a whole nother group. So the instructors had great communication with themselves. If they felt their group was going faster than another group, they was able to communicate, and we'd all be able to negotiate a pass fairly easily. There was really nothing interesting to record in those first 2 sessions. Now, in the 3rd session, the one before lunch, they actually started giving us the max, basically, of our passing rules. They started doing point to pass. And how this was we all lined up behind our instructor anyways, and when he felt we were at a point on the track and he felt that we were capable of passing, he looked back, point at us, and give us the okay to go. Now, to my understanding, the novice rules were you could pass on the straights either on anybody's left or right. You just had to keep 6 feet of space. Also, I believe you were able to pass on the outside of the corner so long as you were giving them 6 feet of space. There was no inside passing. And of course, you had to obey that 6 feet of space rule. Now, we'll see in my film, I definitely obeyed that, but I also wasn't really trying to pass anybody on the outside of the corner. So let's dive right into this film. So the first thing that comes to my mind was how bad my gear selection was, especially when it came down to downshift. Listen to how low my RPMs are. That's no bueno on the track. You want high RPM so your engine brake can do its thing. Terrible. And look at this. I'm doing 35 miles an hour and I'm in 2nd gear? I should be in 1st so I can accelerate strong. So like I said earlier, I wasn't really trying to pass anybody in the corners because I was trying to be considerate of those that I was passing. I didn't want to make them uncomfortable. And in my efforts to make them comfortable, I noticed that I was pretty inconsiderate towards those that were behind me. Right here, you see me make this pass. I probably should have got back over in line. But my thought process was I didn't want to disrupt the guy that I just passed, not really realizing that me being right there in the middle of the track can be disruptive to those who are also keeping the same pace or faster pace than I was. Alright, so now we at my first oh shit moment. So what's going on here is the 2 riders ahead of me, not wearing the orange jersey, they're still within their group. Their rules were still, you can't pass anybody unless you're passing as a group. So with that being said, I was keeping more pace than them, so I was ready to just go on by him. But at the same time, the instructor just gave the guy behind him the okay to go. So as I was passing, I was like, I need to hurry up and pass because I'm on the inside of him and we're about to make a left turn. So I kept a lot more pace than I was comfortable with coming into turn 1. And I want you to pay attention to where I start braking here as compared to a lot of my other laps. My braking point here is much later, so I need to brake much harder. And it was an oh shit moment because my suspension was so soft that if I was doing hard braking, I was pretty much bottoming it out and I had them jitters coming through. You can tell it scared the hell out of me because I stayed in 4th gear and I had no thoughts, no intentions, no nothing of downshifting. My only focus was stay on these brakes long enough until I'm comfortable with the direction I'm facing, and then I can get on to some maintenance throttle. Right here is another situation where I'm being kind of awkward. I'm not just passing this guy. It's not really in the corner, but I still wanted to give him his space, and I waited till like the last minute to go ahead and pass him. Or me thinking I'm so considerate, I'm going extremely slow, giving this supermoto rider the opportunity to catch me, and which is why he was really, passing me on the outside. I'm sure I was very frustrated to ride with. Oh boy, I had the speed in the corners to pass me, especially in situations like this. But that old 600 had the speed to gain my spot back on the streets. So man, if you're watching this, I'm gonna apologize to you. I wasn't really considerate of you, not realizing how I was kind of hogging the track from people like you who was keeping good pace. All right, so you may be thinking, this guy looks familiar. How is he in front of me again if I flew by him earlier? Well, let me go back and show you something that wasn't exactly in the highlight. So this was the lap right after my oh shit moment. I already knew I wanted to brake early. And also there was people in front of me. And like I said, I was trying to be extremely considerate, and I knew I didn't want to pass him on the inside. So I was giving myself plenty of space, which opened up the gate for old boy to pass me. Same as that one thou wow that just blew on past me. And here is another prime example of me just trying to be considerate. I could have passed this guy on the outside of that corner, but again, I'm trying to be nice. Again, here's just another instance of me having poor gear selection. I'm upshifting way too early. Keeping them RPMs too low. And I'm going to show y'all another clip that didn't make the highlights. If you notice, this turn right here is actually something that you could take still being on the throttle. It took a while to get comfortable since it's such a blind turn, but I eventually did, and here's a clip of that. So if you're wondering, man, I was never able to catch that damn instructor.
Why are you running?
I feel like, looking back on the film, the instructor was like, hey, you want to be selfish and hug up this lane? You think you fast? Let me show your ass something about being fast. Past me, you can see there's times when he's like looking back at me. I think he was trying to get me to stay on his line and try to keep up so he could show me a thing or two. That's what I'm thinking it might have been. I don't know. He could have just been having fun, but it was definitely humbling. Because I thought I was doing my thing a little bit, passing people the way I was. But then to get blown by like that, man, it was definitely humbling. It even got to the point to where another instructor passed me, man. It was all bad. But, man, I enjoyed the track so much, I can't wait to go back again. I want y'all to tune in to episode 3, where I wrap this thing up and, give y'all my final thoughts, everything I learned. I'll even break down everything I paid for. Good God, that was an expensive bill. But all right, man, thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all stay blessed. Don't be too stressed. Master Yoshi out. Peace.